Yikes. Welcome back. Let's have a quick talk about Aegean Strike from Victory Games. Now, this is an oldie but a goodie, 1986. It's a second volume in the Golf Strike series that has been reimagined by the guys at VUCA, which, the game was called Red Strike, won a bunch of awards and everything. These games that Mark Herman did are much smaller in scale and much more manageable than the Red Strike system is, in particular the Air War for Red Strike. But I'm not here to talk about Red Strike, I'm here to talk about this. And I'm really looking at this video to be something of a discussion about what potential tactics might be, because I'm new to the system and I haven't really got my head around how everything gels together yet. I have some thoughts on how they gel together, and we're going to play a turn and see if that is true, right? So we have, first of all, we have these, let's call them asset charts, where we can place at various airfields and bases, I should say air bases, your assets, your aircraft, which if we flick an F5 over, we can see all the details, whether it has ground strike capability, anti-sub capability, all that sort of groovy stuff, air-to-air fighting capability, all that fun stuff. This is the movement rate, basically. It's the number of megahexes, if you want to call them that, strategic hexes that you can move. So we've got a strategic map in the corner, which relates to basically 10 hexes on the big map. I think it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 hexes. And so we've got an outline of the coastline, and we've got Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, Romania, USSR up on the top right-hand side, and then Turkey, and then obviously off to the left there's Italy, the boot of Italy. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So a lot of assets start here, and this particular scenario is all about the missile crisis in Turkey and the Russians not being very happy with various missile assets being placed in Turkey, and so they decide that that's worth starting a war over. My camera is stuck. Pardon me. Come on, guys. A couple of funky colors. You may have noticed this red there. It's U.S. forces, and the yellow. The yellow units are the. I'm trying to get my head around this. The yellow units are actually the Russians. And then the green, the Turks, the orange, the Bulgarians. These are the Greeks, I believe. And yeah, we got that going for us, which is nice. So now actually, the green. Yeah, that's right. Where is the U.S.? I guess the U.S. Oh, the U.S. air is there. Yeah, so all those green, that green F5 I showed you is actually Turkish. I didn't realize the Turkish had such a huge air force. Anyway, here we go. So the game, the goal of the game is to control the straits, which is outlined here in these little white triangles. Can you see that there? Let me just zoom in a little bit. All right. We've got to take control of that. And then also up near Istanbul, there's another section of the strait there. And then way over there, Ankara. That's what they've got to do to get the win as the Soviets. Now, all the naval assets start in port, and you'll mark them in port by doing that. I've got these assets here, Russian assets here, that are airborne, naval. And where is the naval guys? Must be under there. Yeah, I don't know where they are, but I put them somewhere. Oh, they're in their amphibious landing craft there. One thing I have yet to work out, which is important, I think the X on here is the shipping capacity. So it means I can move a brigade by naval movement or amphibious movement, as the case may be. And then the same goes for the transporters. I believe they have a marker on them as well. So it must be a cluster of them. That seems like an awfully significant capacity. So as I said, strategy-wise, I'm looking at this, that the Soviets need to push through the straits with some subs, try and interdict any supporting assets that might come to the aid of the Turks. Ideally, perhaps even if the Americans leave Naples and leave the Med, not leave the Med, but enter into the Med on the strategic map into sort of the broader area, they might want to try and sink a CV. I don't know. So I think we want to push all the subs into either this megahex here, excuse the camera, sorry about that, AV4, or this one here, AW03, into one of these two, see what happens in the Aegean Sea and kind of go for things from there. Obviously, at some point, I don't know what that is in terms of battlefield shaping and prepping the enemy's air defenses and all that sort of stuff, we want to land both amphibiously and with naval forces. Did I just say amphibiously and naval forces? Amphibiouslly and by airdrop, we want to push something probably along the coastline here. I don't know. We're going to have to be able to build a supply base and have a supply line and all that sort of fun stuff. It'd be kind of fun to try and isolate, if possible. I don't know how the rules for supply are going to apply to isolating a certain portion of Turkey from the mainland via Istanbul. If we can block the straits, maybe that will block supply. I don't know. I've got to reread those rules. I've read the rules, just in case you're wondering, and I have skimmed the various sections that I'm concerned about again, and I'm now really digging into the detection side of things, because that's going to make a huge difference. How are you detected? When are you detected? What are the What are the detection ranges? And all that sort of good stuff. So we're digging into that. The game sequence of play is very straightforward, but a little subtle. There are a number of different things there are 3 phases, basically, in the primary phases of the game turn, or action stages of the game turn. I'm using the wrong terminology here too now. That's going to mess everybody up. Segment is the word. So there are action stages. There are 3 of those, and they are going to give you the ability to move and to have combat. But who gets to move and what types of combat that occur are different in each of the action stages. So the second movement phase within the second action stage is going to give you a different set of capabilities for units subject to their status, their type of operation they're going to run in the turn. So you've got to be thoughtful about that, thoughtful about your, I don't want to use the word staging since we just use stage a whole bunch, but the sequencing of the elements that you're looking to bring to bear for a given operation, you're going to need to be pretty thoughtful about that. And my thinking here is that we probably spend a turn or 2 or more with aircraft looking to pound on things that matter to prevent or interdict or shape the battlefield a little bit and hit the enemy where they least expect it, get the Russians in on the ground on the Turkish side of the world, make things happen there, get the Bulgarians potentially, if I can get them into the game as a set of fighters, to engage all these Turkish forces here and keep them otherwise busy. And that then very, very much limits the amount of force that the Turks can bring to bear. And then it's going to be a matter of what NATO can bring to help them, as the case may be. So, but getting the Bulgarians into the battle is not necessarily a super easy thing. In fact, there's my where are my paratroopers there? I've got them set up in a airfield actually on the map versus on the little chart. Let's see what else I was going to mention. And from the NATO side of things, we've got to kind of wait till the war gets started. There's not a lot we can do in terms of pre-positioning and things like that. There's a little bit you can do, but not a ton. The Greeks aren't in the game unless certain political things happen. So it's really going to be up to the Turks to kind of hold the line by themselves until the US then works out how it wants to participate. and what will force their hand, and that's typically going to be a Soviet attack. And once the Soviets have attacked, then it's game on, right? And then the reinforcements, the AWACS and the C-130s and all that sort of fun stuff will start rolling in, along with some various NATO, pretty light units actually, that will be able to be brought to bear. So that's kind of where we're at with it. I haven't rolled any dice for anything yet. We're not moving pieces yet. It took me a little while to get set up and then getting through the rules, making sure I'm reacquainted with this enough, because I set this up and played a couple of turns and written about it. I guess it must have been probably 3 years ago now, and it's all a blur. So we're going to need to get reacquainted. Oh, and these are the British, by the way. They're purple. I think someone had a sense of humor, or it's just 1980s color choices were pretty limited. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon. More to come. Merry Christmas.